Christina, sounds good. Late last night, Twitter provided an update after attackers targeted specific employees to intentionally manipulate people to divulge confidential information. This is all connected to dozens of high-profile Twitter accounts. While Twitter says a forensic review is currently underway and ongoing, we spoke with a local financial economic crimes expert, J. Michael Skiba, a.k.a. Dr. Fraud.
And what's really concerning about this one is the investigation has revealed that it was not compromised through a member, through a user. This was through Twitter itself, through social engineering. That leads me to believe that it's a highly complex scam going on, more than what we originally thought, I think, 2 days ago. And even when I said it was financial, now the news is coming out, and I think it's actually a lot more than that. So it's very, very disturbing. But I think consumers can do a couple things because you're almost at their mercy, if you will. But you can protect your personal data as much as you can, and really just watch what's going on in your life. That's the key, to see if you're getting weird text, phone, emails, things sending from your account that are weird, that doesn't sound like you. I mean, they're all signs that something could be awry with your own personal account. But I hope it's a wake-up call for the consumers, to be honest, because even our kids, they just don't know that understanding between private and personal and just sending tons of information and data. You still have to protect yourself. You have to do your due diligence.
What exactly happened here?
They actually had access to a lot more than what they used. So they just threw this out as a Bitcoin scam, hey, send in money. But we know that they had access to a lot more. So on one hand, you think to yourself, okay, was this a low complexity level scam where they didn't know they had access? That's where they were leading us down to. But in my mind, because I've seen this happen in other scenarios, that's just kind of a distraction to something either they have going on or in the works or extracting personal data. And that's really where a lot of the damage occurs, is when they actually get personal data from members. They can do a lot with that information.
How can you avoid all of this?
Really strong passwords, change them often, watch your phone where it is, use the double layer authentication methods.
I just got that on Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm telling you. But you know what to use too is the external authentication apps. So you can use those too. Microsoft has them. And what it does, it actually takes you outside of the actual environment and it authenticates your account before you go back in. Not foolproof, but it absolutely helps. It's an additional layer. And also within each social media platform, even Twitter, you can go in the settings and apps and adjust like what information they're sending out there. So there's certain things you can do to make it more difficult, and that's really the key. It's almost not a before we used to say, well, are you going to be a victim? Now it's more like when you're going to be a victim.
Right.
So you have to kind of cut down on the information they can get and make it harder for them. Honestly, that's the key.
Why were they targeted? Was it financial related? Like why? Why is this happening?
I don't think so, because usually it's either some sort of sabotage, finance, or data. That's usually what they're looking for. So there were no political messages that went out through Biden's account. Easily done. So that leads them to believe it might not have been something larger scale on that front. Financial, that's what it appeared to be. 120,000. That's very, very low level for a Twitter hack, to be honest with you. So I think it was data. I think they're looking to get personal data because, again, they can do a lot with that. I mean, on the black market, and I mean, it can be repurposed. It could be worth millions. I mean, they hacked, I think, 8 accounts. They downloaded full data from. I mean, that's worth a lot of money on the black market. So,
can you weigh in on where you go from here? What's next?
So they have to start to coordinate. I think we're gonna see that now on many different levels to see what the scale was. Right? Was it just disgruntled employees internally, or was it a country trying to politically sabotage us? Exactly. Yeah. So what's the scale? So this is what's happening now behind the scenes. Is all these organizations are trying to figure out which way to go, and of course Twitter is at the center of that. Say 100%, just do your due diligence. Absolutely. It's I see such a trend right now, and again, especially with the kids with the privacy issues, you have to just go through those simple things and use any leverage you can to actually make it harder for the criminals.
Dr. Fraud, really appreciate it.